This chapter is about malware. Malware are various programs used to cause harm to a user by either disrupting their device or system, taking over control of the system or device, or causing financial losses to the user. There are commonly three types of malware: viruses, worms, and trojans. Viruses infect a file, start to erase it, and then finally take it over. Viruses usually require the user to execute the file to run their malicious code. A worm will, on the other hand, will just copy themselves from the system, usually taking advantage of a vulnerability, while a Trojan will embed themselves into a file, which makes it very hard to find Trojans. What malware are used for are various different things, such as spyware. Spyware is used to either keylog or take pictures of a user's screen. Wiperware, which basically just deletes files from a system, causing disruption. Cryptoware, which encrypts specific files that it deems important and then blackmails the user into paying them for the decryption keys. Scareware is an offshoot of cryptoware that basically pretends it's cryptoware, but actually there is no encryption involved, and just tries to blackmail the user that way. There is adware, which is used for advertisement, sometimes even advertisement of other malware. There's DNS malware that sends your DNS queries to a rogue DNS server, which then redirects you to malicious sites. There's banking malware, which targets banking services and tries to either keylog, man in the middle your bank transactions or bank logins so they can get access to your bank account. While there's also command and control malware, which basically just take control over your system or device and uses it in a botnet. The intrusion usually happens through various different ways. This can be done by vulnerabilities on a site, phishing or spear phishing. Phishing or spear phishing is basically sending out mail or links to the malware to either a massive amount of people or a specific person in the case of spear phishing. Watering hole attacks can be used by using vulnerabilities on sites, by putting it on a site where specific users all gather and click links or see ads which can be infected with the malware. The mitigations for malware is usually antivirus programs. While antivirus programs aren't foolproof, they can still mitigate a lot of problems. There's basically three types of ways a antivirus can detect a malware. It's one by one-to-one comparison, where it just just checks the hash for a list of other hashes, and if the hashes are the same, it deems it a malware because it's in its list. There's passive heuristics, which just checks the program for specific functions or macros to see if it acts like a malware, while a active heuristics check will put the program in a sandbox and check how it acts, and in case it acts like a malware, it will destroy it. Other forms of mitigation would be educating people on where not to go and what will usually cause infection, while also keeping your system and devices up to date, as well as your applications up to date, due to a lot of malware using vulnerabilities on older versions.